Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about the fact that there's not much difference between being rich and being poor. Yes, there's really not much difference between being rich and being poor. Being rich is an illusion. You know, so if you're someone who wants to do shady deeds to get wealth, just know that, thinking that because, people are rich, you're automatically happy. Money does not bring you happiness. Your mindset brings you happiness. If you can't be satisfied with what you have, you'll never be happy in life. And that's how life works. If you don't have a positive mindset of the world, if you don't have a positive view of the world, you will never be happy. If you don't have a positive view of yourself and your life, you will never be happy. So let me get started. Let me give you an example of what I mean by, poor people and rich people do not have that much difference. Do not experience that great of a difference in life. Whether you're rich or poor, the air you breathe in will be exactly the same. Whether you're rich or poor, the sky will be just as blue. Whether you're rich or poor, the earth will be still the same place. The flowers will be just as beautiful. The smells will be just as delicious or as disgusting. None of the physical aspects of life changes. Your emotions do not change. The depth of your emotions do not change. A human being who's rich is still the same as a human being who's poor. The eyes still the same things, the same amount of colors. Their tongues taste the same, range of flavors. Their mind you can have a positive mind as a poor person or a negative mind as a poor person. You can have a positive mindset as a rich person or a negative mindset as a poor person. And your mindset determines how life works. Whether there's a bottleneck to wealth. There's a bottleneck to wealth. A human being can only be in one place at a time. So no matter how many houses you buy, no matter how many rooms in a house you have, guess what? You can only live in one house at a time. You can only live in one room at a time. You can't be in multiple places at once. So all that wealth, what does it give you? Nothing that a normal person doesn't experience. Yes, you can buy more expensive things. But the biggest lie of this world, the funniest part of life is that, this world of duality is one of the coolest things in life. The world is a world of duality. The richest things appear, more valuable. But the truth is, if you follow the logic of duality, the richest things in life are usually the most worthless objects possible. While the most valuable things in life appear, do not have any price to them. Air does not have any price to it, but yet is more valuable than a billion cars. Without air, you can't live. Your life does not have any price to it. It is free. Yet without it, what's the point of wealth? Without your free life, what's the point of wealth? None. Nothing. There's no point in wealth. No matter how many cars you buy, you can still only drive one car at a time. And if you don't value that car, no matter how many times you drive it, the car will feel worthless and pointless. So in the end, it's still your mindset. If you value the car you drive, then you only need one car. You only need to drive one car. If you're happy with the car you have, you do not need many cars. If you're not happy with the car you have, no matter how many cars you buy, you will never be happy with them. The problem isn't the amount of cars you have. The problem is you. Your mindset determines life. Your mindset determines how life works for you. This is why there's so many suicidal rich folks in this world. Because they have a jaded mindset. They have the mindset that the more wealth they have, the happier they'll be. Yet they keep getting more wealth and more wealth and more wealth. Yet they're never happy because they're never satisfied with the wealth that they currently have. They keep asking for more. If you're never satisfied with what you have, you will never be happy. It's just a fact of life. This is why, all these billionaires and trillionaires, they're the greediest people on the planet. Because they've always had the mindset that more wealth means more happiness. Yet the more wealth they gain, they never gain that happiness. Where is it? Their mindset sets them back. They have the mindset of a glutton, the mindset of a bottomless hole. That the more means more value. The more things you have, the more valuable your life becomes. The more happy your life becomes. And that's not how life works. There are rich folks who are happy. They're not happy because they have more things. They're happy because they like what they have with them. They're happy because they like it, they're content with what they have in life. And then the majority of rich folks who will never be happy in life because they're never content with what they have. What they have seems worthless. They're always jealous of what other people have. They're always trying to get what other people have, thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. But guess what? The grass is not always greener on the other side. Even if the grass is greener, it doesn't mean you'll like that grass. And that's how life works. Just because the grass is greener on the other side does not mean you like the grass on the other side. No matter how green the grass is on the other side, that grass is for them, not for you. You may never like the grass on the other side. No matter how green it is, when you get to the other side, you may end up realizing that that grass was not not the type of grass I like. The grass on my side was my favorite type of grass. The grass on the other side was worthless, is worthless. If you don't appreciate and value what you have, if you don't appreciate and value the people in your life, the friends and family that you have, you think having more friends mean more happiness. Having more friends mean more value. Having more relationships mean more value. You put in the cart before the horse. You will never be happy with the mindset of a glutton. You will never be happy in life if you can't value what you have right now. What you have is enough. If you have the mindset of what God has given you is enough, you will find happiness in life. If you have the mindset of an evil glutton that just wants more and more and more and more and more, you will never be happy. You have the mindset of a parasite. You just suck and suck and suck the life out of everything around you, and yet you will still never be happy. And this is the problem with rich folks. Instead of enjoying their lives, enjoying their wealth, they're out here trying to get more. They're ruining their lives, gambling their wealth away, trying to get more. And then when they lose it all, that's when they become depressed. They didn't value what they had at first. And the moment they lose it, they start to realize, what was the point of wasting all that time and energy? What was the point of gambling all my money away? Creating, this business, or investing in this, investing in that. You're already rich enough, but yet you're not happy with what you have. If you're not happy with what you have, you will lose it. This is the principles of life. If you're not happy with what you have, you'll lose it. If you don't value what you have, you'll lose it. There's a phrase, in bodybuilding, use it or lose it. If you don't use your muscles, you lose it. That's how life works. If you don't value what you have, you will lose it. You waste it away. You gamble it away. You give it to others. People, the greediest people in the world. The scammers in the world. You just give it to them. There's so many scammers out there. It brings me back to what I said about the funniest part of life is that the more expensive something is, the more worthless it is. The less expensive something is, the more valuable it is, and that's how life works. The more expensive something is, the more worthless it is. Do you know why? These companies target rich folks. The greedier someone is, the more, they're desperate, for money. And desperate people always resort to scams and manipulations for money. They resort to scams and manipulation. This is why, some of the most useless cars cost millions of dollars to buy, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You see them out there. There's a company, I forgot the name. Even if I remember the name, I won't name it. There was a company that's selling trash bags for $1,000. This is a name brand company selling complete, just plain old trash bags for $1,000, and there are a bunch of rich folks who will buy it. I'm not making this up. A trash bag for $1,000. There's been so many cases of companies ripping their customers off by selling completely average, normal goods for thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. Even homes. You buy, there was a famous person that I used to listen to. He had a podcast, right? He bought his home for like a few $100,000. Guess what? That home was filled with mold. That mansion that he bought was filled with mold and almost killed him. This is the life we live in. And this life is, the trickiest thing is thinking that just because something is worth more, and just because something has, cost more, it means it's more valuable. This is not how life works. The more something costs, usually the less valuable it is, the less useful it is for you. So all these rich folks, you see them buying expensive things, guess what? They're buying glass houses. They're buying balloons. It's large on the outside, empty on the inside. They'll never, once they buy it, they start to realize this thing has no value. This is why they keep buying more and more and more. They keep wasting their money on scams. They keep getting manipulated by advertisements, and, they have money to spend, right? When you have money to spend, you go to the store. A poor person would just buy the poor things, the cheaper objects, the cheaper goods. The rich folks, instead of buying the cheaper goods, they say, oh no, I'm rich. Why would I buy the useless cheap good when I could buy the expensive one? Without realizing that these companies target you. They know your mindset. They know they know that you believe that because something is more expensive, it means it's more valuable. They know how you think. Because they know how you think, they know how to manipulate you. They'll create a very cheap product and market it at a high price to trick you into thinking it's more valuable. So you spend more money buying something that has less value. And that's how this life works. The things that rich folks buy, they spend far more money buying it than they would have if they didn't have that mindset that because something has, it costs more, it automatically means it's more valuable. If you don't appreciate what you have, the money that you have with you, you will lose it. If you think, something that's more expensive, it automatically means it's more valuable, you will lose the money that you have. You spend money buying scams. You spend your entire life buying scams and end up going broke in the future. And when you go broke, that's when you start realizing that I shouldn't have spent all my money buying these useless cars. I shouldn't have spent all my money buying all these pointless, houses that I'll never live in. I wasted my money buying all these expensive things. And these expensive things comes with expensive insurances. Houses comes with tax, property tax, expensive property tax, maintenance costs, bills. The moment you buy something expensive, the bills, attached to it, the repair costs attached to it is more expensive. The insurance attached to it is more expensive. Everything in life becomes more expensive until you lose all your wealth. Expensive things target, companies target rich folks. You are their target. You're the manipulation target. They'll try every way to steal you all the money from your bank accounts. Every way possible. That way they're rich and you're poor. They don't care about you. If you think these companies care about you, you're mocking yourself. And this is just how life works. The rich folks think they gain more, but the truth is they're spending more to get less. The poor folks think that they're getting less, but the truth is they're spending less to get more. And this is how life works. Companies who target poor folks know they don't have that much money. So they don't have that much money. What's the point of scamming them? It's not like you can gain much from it anyways. You know, the mindset of rich, companies rarely ever target poor folks because they know they have no money to give them anyways. So there's no need to scam a poor person. Why spend all that time and energy trying to scam a poor person? Because of that mindset, there's no point in scamming poor people. Poor people get a free pass. The things the cheaper things in life are more valuable because the companies aren't trying their best to try to steal money from you. They aren't trying their best to try to take as much money from you as possible. And this is how life works. Rich fools get tricked into spending all their life savings every time. There's so many rich fools getting poor all the time. The entire world is, the wealth, the wealthy class. You think they're always wealthy, but the truth is no. There are very few people who keep their wealth. Many people go broke over the years, and there's a reason why they go poor. It's because there are too many scams out there. There are too many people targeting rich folks. There are too many thieves targeting rich folks for their wealth. The rich folks do not know how valuable their wealth is. So they keep buying scams because they automatically assume because something is more expensive, it means it's more valuable. And because of that gluttonous mindset, that somehow, they're never satisfied with what they have. Because they're never satisfied with what they have, they keep buying and buying and buying. And they keep buying the most worthless objects in this world, thinking it's more valuable when it's not. There are endless cases of companies scamming their customers, pretending that something, that's expensive is valuable, only for the manufacturers themselves to come out and tell you. The manufacturers betray these companies all the time with their gadgets and items, because the manufacturers come out and tell you this thing is not, the price you're paying like $10,000 for something that only costs us $10 to produce. And the worst part of it is we're selling this very product for someone else for and there's for less, for like only $20. We're selling this product for $20 for the poor folks, while the rich folks, because there's a name brand attached to it, there's a company's name brand attached to it, they're paying $10,000 for this exact same product. This is the world we live in. You're getting scammed. Rich folks do not experience that great of a life than poor folks. They don't. The worst part of it is they're more likely to be scammed, to be robbed, to be kidnapped, to be murdered for their wealth. Thieves will will walk past many houses filled with poor people and target the only one around in the neighborhood that has money. They will target only that one. This is how life works. How can you be happy as a rich person, right? When the wealth that you have attracts a lot of thieves to your doorstep. The wealth that you have attracts a lot of scammers to your doorstep. It attracts a lot of manipulators to your doorstep. How can you be happy in life when your whole world is filled with thieves that will try to steal your wealth from you? It's hard to be happy when there are too many manipulative people that will come to your doorstep trying every which way possible to take your money from your bank account. If they can't get it through manipulations and scams, they'll get it through kidnapping and robbery. This is how life works. Having more money does not automatically make you happier. It can't. But at the same time, being poor does not make you happier either. The only thing that makes you happier in life is not your wealth, but your mindset. There are poor people who will never be happy because they think that because they don't have enough money, they can't be happy because they don't have enough money. They're not rich, so they automatically decide that I'll never be happy until I'm rich. And then there are rich folks. I'll never be, they have millions of dollars in their bank account, but they'll never be happy until they have billions in their bank account. That's their mindset. They will never be happy with the millions of dollars that they have because they don't have billions of dollars in their bank account. There are rich people with that mindset. Many of them have that gluttonous mindset that they will never be happy with what they have because they don't have enough. They don't have more than someone else. That's the mindset of rich folks. The same mindset that poor people have that makes them miserable is the same mindset that rich folks have, that they'll never be happy with what they have unless they have the whole world. If they don't have more than everyone else, they will never be happy. So how can you be happy as a rich person when most rich folks have that mindset? The mindset of, if I don't have more than everyone else, if I don't have more than my friends, I will never be happy. Even if they have $1 billion in their bank account, they still have the mindset of, if I don't have 100 billions in my bank account, $100 billion in my bank account, I'll never be happy. Just like you poor folks who think, I'll never be happy if I don't have $1 million in my bank account. Guess what? Rich folks have the same mindset that you have. They will never be happy until they have the whole world. And because they can't get the whole world, their life will always be miserable. Because the mindset determines their happiness in life. If you can't be happy with what you have, you will never be happy no matter how much you have. And this is how life works. The problem isn't the world. The world isn't controlling your happiness. You are. The world isn't controlling your misery. You are. You always have the choice to stay away from bad friends. You always have the choice to stay away from mean, cruel, demented, and abusive people. It is your choice. Whether you are rich or poor, you always have that choice. You say you don't have the choice, but that's your mindset. You always have the choice to be happy with what you have. You don't have to have 1 million cars. One car is enough. You don't have to have $1 billion in your bank account. A few $100s in your bank account is good too. As long as you have enough food to eat, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. They're not experiencing far more, rich folks are not experiencing nirvana in this world. They're not experiencing some sort of blissful life because they have the same mindset that you have. The same mindset that keeps you depressed. That, if I'm not as rich as this person, I will never be happy. Rich folks have the same mindset as well. If they're not as rich as the person who's richer than them, they will never be happy. They have the same mindset that you have and suffer just as much as you do. A happy person is a happy person, and a rich person is a rich person. A happy person is a happy person, and a poor person is a poor person. They're not the same. You can be happy being rich, you can be happy being poor. But just because you're rich does not mean you're happy. And just because you're poor does not mean you're happy either. And this is how life works. Your mindset determines your happiness. If you can't be happy with what God has given you, you will never be happy in life. This is the truth. If you can't be happy with the miracles that God has brought to your life, the good things that God has given you, if you can't be happy with them, you will never be happy in life. Because you have the mindset of a parasite. You have the mindset of a glutton. And a glutton will never be satisfied until he destroys the world. That's the mindset of a glutton. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.